Blake Cousins. Welcome back, everybody, from around the world. I have a few stories I want to share with you, but first let's get started with the Vikings. The Viking civilization for thousands of years has been known as a race that lived in an ancient civilization where surviving by your wits was more common than having the proper kind of weaponry to defend yourself. But perhaps this is a misconception that has been widely adopted by the general public. It turns out that the Vikings may have had more sophisticated types of weapons at their disposal than anyone could have ever imagined, including archaeologists who have studied artifacts from the era in time. A prime example of this weaponry in the Ulfbert sword, which is discovered in more than one spot in Europe by different archaeological digs. The Ulfbert sword has been traced by the Viking civilization and were discovered in areas that believed to have been an ancient battleground of this historical race. But the thing that was quite puzzling about the sword is it's well made from strong steel, sword apparently forged by craftsmen. There is just one issue, that the statement of the time of the Vikings was supposed to be known as a time before such welding was actually done. Then there is the Ulfbert sword, which is the name for the reason it's actually found inscribed in the cross section of the sword. So what does this name mean? Well, some researchers think that it's the name of the place where the sword could have been created for battle. As for the cross section back, during the time of the Roman Catholic Church had a large hold over the region of the world, and the sword symbolized allegiance to the church. That is the name of the cross, but what about the sword itself? This was time and centuries ago, where the technology to create a sword of this magnitude didn't seem possible. The type of heat that was needed to fuse such weaponry wasn't even harnessed for such a task till hundreds of years in the future. Yet the sword is probably proof this process could have been figured out by a race that was perhaps more sophisticated than first believed. I want to get your thoughts on what this sword's all about. Did the Vikings have ancient technology given to them to forge these kinds of sophisticated weaponry? Wow, this is quite incredible. Brent, I want to get your opinion. Welcome to the show, Brent.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah, we're looking at this. This is really good information coming in right now. I do like that the scientists, archaeologists haven't really figured this one out, and they think that there's a mystery behind it all. What knowledge did the Vikings have to produce such technology hundreds of years earlier than expected?
Absolutely. What is the answer? Well, I want to get your opinions again. Now, let's get to this story. This is interesting, in my opinion. Let's get to it. Now, NASA has a response to the anonymous alien disclosure claim. When the online collective group Anonymous released a new video this week claiming that the space agency NASA was about to announce the discovery of extraterrestrial life in the universe, it generated a huge amount of excitement for space watchers all over the world. Well, unfortunately, according to the space agency, the claim made by Anonymous that's gone viral is simply incorrect. Contrary to some reports, there's no pending announcement from NASA regarding extraterrestrial life, according to Robert Zurbuchen, a NASA Associate Administrator for the Science, in tweet publishing this week, putting an end to the speculation that the space agency was on the cusp of making a major announcement about the discovery of extraterrestrial life. Well, in my opinion, NASA already knows that there's extraterrestrial life out there and here. They're just not admitting it to us right now, and it seems like Anonymous is being scuttled with their information. According to the announcement made by NASA, it came as no surprise to many people who deemed the video released by Anonymous to contain false information from the outset. But many observers pointed out that the video actually contained no information about the supposed discovery of extraterrestrial life and instead relied heavily on Zurbuchen's own statement at a Senate hearing when he claimed that we are on the verge of making one of the most profound, unprecedented discoveries in history. However, these claims were taken out of context by Anonymous. Zurbuchen was referring to NASA's work in the long term rather than speaking of an imminent discovery. But though the information seems to be false, most of the astronomers and scientists working for the space agency believe that they will be able to announce the discovery of alien life in space within the next 30 years. I'm wondering why that's taken them so long. They also say scientists working for the agency are particularly excited about the potential of the next generation hardware, such as the James Webb Telescope, which will be fully operational in the course of the next few years. It's hoped that the incredible, powerful telescope will be an essential tool to allow scientists to discover life far away from planet Earth. Well, we will be providing the anonymous link below so you can take a look for yourself of what anonymous claims that NASA is not telling us. Brent, what's your thoughts on anonymous in general and NASA claiming that they still have no evidence of extraterrestrial life?
Blake, I think Anonymous doesn't bluff. When they have something, they hold their cards. They, I think, have something going on here that they might have insight that we don't at NASA. At one point, I know Anonymous actually hacked NASA before a launch of some sort and basically said, we're here and we see you. And then they allowed NASA to actually proceed with that launch, but they could have scuttled the whole thing. Anonymous is stepping boundaries, and they got to be careful saying something that isn't true. But you know, NASA, what it really stands for, never straight answer. So we might not get to the bottom of this for 30 years, like you said. And you know what, Blake, I think that's pretty sad.
Well, absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but I know the way I feel, and I don't want to wait 30 years to get down to the bottom of this alien phenomenon happening every day around the world. And let me tell you, if you've captured anything incredible, we want to share your videos to the world. And if you've experienced something out of this world, you could call into our radio show every Friday and Monday and share your experience to the world. The number to call in is 347-934-0378. It starts 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me, and I will be taking your calls this Friday coming up and Monday. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time. Thanks, Brent.